Hey everyone, this is One Man Zerg with the UEN.com bringing you a tip today on a Terran stack army. We have Liquid TLO here, who's the little one, and he's a very good professional player, very fun to watch. And he has a stack army. A stack army is any army that has an array of units to try and counter the multiple units that your opponent might get. So right here he has some Hellions because he's playing against a Zerg player. So you see some Zerglings. Hellions are great for that. Some SCVs that he's brought along to repair his units. Some Marines because they're just generally pretty good and pretty cheap. A Viking, some Thors, and some tanks. So that's a good army mix. It can do a lot of area effect damage. It can deal with small tiny units. It can deal with mass mutalisks. And it does overall good damage composition. So let's watch what he does. He's going to bring it in, and he wants to push together as a ball as much as he can because these units are very strong together. They're all ranged like all Terran units are. And you can see if you get out of the ball like this Thor over here, you're just going to get taken down pretty quickly. So that's what you want to avoid. But when you're in the ball and you have those siege tanks supporting you, these Ultralists are getting here. They're getting pounded by the 250mm cannons, and they're just getting taken out. And you know, there's not much you can do about that as the opposing player if your opponent has this good stack. So you got to figure out what to counter him with. If you're playing against Protoss or another Terran player, your stack's obviously going to be a little different. You might not want as many Helions, you might not want any Marines, you might want more Marauders, you might want some Ravens for some detector support. There's a lot of different things you might want if you're playing against different armies. Even a different Zerg army, you'd want a different composition. So your goal for your stack army is to get an army that will beat up on the opposing player's composition and to vary it a little, because if he or she suddenly tech switches on you and you have an army that perfectly counters what they used to have, it's not going to be as effective. So remember, build a stack that can counter various things, specifically your opponent's army at the time, and then keep that stack arranged like you want. You want to stay in that ball as much as possible so you avoid getting flanked or pounded from the back and taken out. So use that effectively, and then see what you can transition into out of that. You can see this army's probably about to go down. They're pretty low on HP, but what TLO is doing here, and he's a very smart player, he's setting himself up for another attack. He's really made the Zerg player focus on everything over here, and then all of a sudden on this edge of the map you can see he's got a counterattack going on. And here's the counterattack over here, which he's set up because all the Zerg forces were drawn over here on the map where he was attacking, and now he can take out this base. So it's a great transition out of your stack army. And then the other thing, you want to be able to rebuild really quickly once you are done attacking him or your army is destroyed, because if you don't have an army, then you're going to lose the game. So make sure you're on your toes to rebuild, and rebuild what will counter your opponent's army at the time and what you expect it to be. I hope that serves you well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, go to UEN.com for more tips and tricks. Thanks for listening. One Man Zerg signing off.